What if the one man who delivers Christmas miracles suddenly lost his magic just when the world needed him the most? Imagine Santa Claus trapped inside a massive shopping mall, surrounded by terrified families, innocent shopkeepers, and ruthless criminals with nowhere to run. No reindeer, no magical escape, no North Pole backup. Just one exhausted Santa facing an army of heavily armed gangsters. Sounds insane, right? Well, that's exactly what Violent Night 2 is bringing this Christmas, and it looks bigger, funnier, and far more explosive than ever before. After the massive success of the first film, director Tommy Wirkola returns with an even crazier sequel, while writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller raise the stakes in every possible way. But this time, the story isn't just about Santa saving Christmas, it's about Santa rediscovering what Christmas truly means. Christmas Eve has arrived, but this year, something feels different. Snow gently falls across New Jersey as thousands of families gather inside the brightly decorated Silver Bell Mall. Children laugh, Christmas music echoes through the halls, and colorful lights illuminate every corner. It should be the happiest night of the year. But hidden among the cheerful crowds is a ruthless criminal named Mason. Along with his heavily armed gang, he launches a carefully planned takeover of the mall. Within minutes, every exit is sealed, security systems are disabled, and hundreds of innocent people become hostages. Far above, Santa Claus begins his annual Christmas journey. Yet something is wrong. For the first time in centuries, his sleigh moves slowly. His magic is fading. Every spell he casts grows weaker, and even the reindeer struggle to fly. Santa realizes that he has spent so many years delivering presents that he has forgotten why Christmas truly matters. A violent storm forces his sleigh to crash onto the roof of the Silver Bell Mall, leaving him trapped inside with no way back to the North Pole. Santa soon discovers the terrified families hiding throughout the mall. Children still believe he can save them, but Santa no longer believes in himself. Without his full powers, he must rely on his old Viking instincts, turning ordinary objects into weapons while quietly rescuing hostages one by one. Meanwhile, Mason reveals his true objective. Hidden beneath the mall is a secret vault containing millions of dollars and priceless valuables. Christmas was simply the perfect cover for the robbery. As Santa fights through wave after wave of criminals, his fading magic continues to disappear. Every battle becomes harder than the last. The criminals begin hunting him throughout the mall, turning every store into a deadly battlefield. Despite the danger, ordinary people refuse to give up. Shopkeepers protect children, security guards risk their lives, strangers help complete strangers. Watching these acts of kindness reminds Santa of the true spirit of Christmas. Back at the North Pole, Mrs. Claus senses that something terrible has happened. Refusing to wait for help, she arms herself and travels south to rescue her husband. When she finally arrives, the criminals quickly realized they underestimated her. Calm, fearless, and brilliantly strategic, Mrs. Claus turns the tables on Mason's gang, fighting alongside Santa in an explosive final showdown. Together, they protect the remaining hostages and stop Mason before he can escape with the stolen fortune. As dawn breaks on Christmas morning, the mall is finally safe. Families reunite, children smile once again, and the spirit of Christmas returns. Because Santa rediscovered hope, his magic returns stronger than ever. The reindeer arrive, the sleigh is restored, and the presents are delivered before sunrise. Before leaving, Santa reminds everyone that Christmas has never been about miracles alone. The greatest magic comes from courage, kindness, and people standing together when darkness tries to take over. As Santa and Mrs. Claus disappear into the snowy sky, children below wave happily, knowing that Christmas has been saved once again. What truly makes Violent Night 2 stand out is that it refuses to be just another action sequel. Instead of simply making the explosions bigger and the fights bloodier, the story gives Santa Claus a personal journey. This time, the greatest battle isn't against armed criminals, it's against his own loss of faith. Santa has forgotten the true meaning of Christmas, and as that happens, his magical powers begin to disappear. That emotional conflict adds real depth to a character who is usually portrayed as all-powerful, making his struggle feel far more relatable and meaningful. Another major strength is the setting. Rather than taking place in a mansion like the first film, the sequel moves the action to the bustling Silver Bell Mall, creating a completely different atmosphere. The mall becomes a modern-day battlefield filled with frightened families, children, shop owners, security guards, and innocent bystanders. Every hallway, food court, toy store, and rooftop offers opportunities for creative action sequences, while also reminding viewers what Christmas is supposed to represent, a place where people gather, celebrate, and create memories. Turning such a familiar holiday location into the center of an intense survival story gives the film a fresh identity. Santa himself also feels more vulnerable than ever before. In the original film, much of his strength came from his magical abilities and his legendary past as a Viking warrior. Here, however, those magical gifts are fading, forcing him to rely on his experience, determination, and courage instead. Watching an aging hero fight despite overwhelming odds makes every victory feel earned rather than effortless. The film shifts the focus from supernatural power to human resilience, proving that true heroes continue fighting even when they have lost their greatest advantage. The introduction of Mrs. Claus is another exciting addition that separates this sequel from its predecessor. Instead of remaining a background character at the North Pole, she finally steps into the spotlight and joins the action herself. Her appearance expands the mythology surrounding Santa's world while introducing a new dynamic that audiences have never seen before. Rather than simply supporting Santa emotionally, she becomes an active force in the battle, suggesting that the legendary Christmas couple is strongest when they fight side by side. The villain also appears to elevate the story significantly. Mason is not portrayed as a cartoonish criminal seeking easy money. He is presented as a calculating and ruthless gangster capable of challenging Santa both physically and mentally. A compelling antagonist is essential for any action film, and Mason's intelligence and brutality promise to push Santa to his absolute limits. Their conflict isn't just a series of fights, it becomes a clash between greed and generosity, fear and hope, selfishness and selflessness. One of the film's most interesting themes is its exploration of what happens when belief begins to fade. As Santa loses faith in the goodness of humanity, his own magic weakens. This symbolic connection reinforces the movie's central message. Christmas is not powered by miracles alone, but by compassion, kindness, and people choosing to help one another. The story suggests that even Santa cannot save Christmas unless ordinary people rediscover those values themselves. The sequel also appears to balance multiple genres remarkably well. It combines brutal action, over-the-top comedy, heartfelt drama, festive spirit, and emotional character development into one entertaining package. Instead of relying solely on violence or humor, the film uses each element to support the others, creating a unique experience that feels both thrilling and surprisingly heartfelt. That blend of festive warmth with high-stakes action is what has made the Violent Night franchise so distinctive. Perhaps the biggest reason the movie stands out is that it transforms Santa Claus into an unlikely action hero without losing the essence of who he is. Beneath the punches, explosions, and dark humor lies a story about redemption, rediscovering hope, and remembering that even the strongest heroes need compassion to succeed. It isn't simply about defeating criminals, it is about reclaiming the spirit of Christmas itself. That emotional foundation gives Violent Night 2 the potential to be much more than a typical holiday action movie, offering audiences both adrenaline-filled entertainment and a meaningful message that lingers long after the final battle ends. Leading the film once again is David Harbour as Santa Claus, the legendary former Viking warrior who has become the world's most unconventional Christmas hero. This time, Harbour portrays a more vulnerable Saint Nick as he struggles with fading magic while facing one of his most dangerous missions yet. Joining him is Kristen Bell as Mrs. Claus, who finally steps out of the North Pole and into the action, proving she's just as fearless and capable as her husband. The film's main antagonist is played by the outstanding Jared Harris, who takes on the role of Mason, a ruthless and calculating gangster determined to terrorize the merchants and families trapped inside the Silver Bell Mall. The supporting cast adds even more excitement with Joe Pantoliano, Daniela Melchior, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, Andrew Batchelor, and Maggie Nicole Robertson as Duff. They are joined by Ashton Cressman as Walker, David Lawrence Brown as Chief Burrows, David McInnes as Norwegian, Samuel Clark as Young Punk, Sarah Lubby as Lexi, Alec Carlos as Billy, Isla Varro as the little singing girl, Darren Ross as the truck driver, Joshua Bondman as a bystander, and Carl Thorderson as husband. Together, this talented ensemble helps bring the action-packed, humorous, and emotional world of Violent Night 2 to life. Expect outrageous fight scenes, hilarious one-liners, explosive action sequences, emotional character moments, and plenty of dark Christmas humor that made the original film such a fan favorite. But beneath all the violence and comedy lies a surprisingly heartfelt message that Christmas isn't about magic, gifts, or miracles. It's about believing in kindness, helping others, and never giving up when hope seems lost. With an impressive runtime of 116 minutes, Violent Night 2 promises a thrilling blend of action, comedy, festive chaos, and emotional storytelling that could make it one of the biggest holiday action movies of 2026. So, if you're looking for a Christmas movie that's unlike anything you've seen before, this one definitely deserves a spot on your watch list. So, are you ready to see Santa Claus unleash another unforgettable holiday battle? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to CheezeDrama for more exciting movie reviews, ending explanations, and the latest updates on upcoming films. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.